Hello to everybody, and welcome to 3 Years Every Week AMA, where we are talking about 3 Year and the project of bringing internet to Africa. Anita Mlakar is my name, and hello to everybody who is already here. Thank you for being with us, of course, and thank you for your interest and questions that you have sent to us in our community on Telegram, Twitter, or Discord. If you are not a part of this yet, welcome to join us. I would also like to get you involved today. So you can click like, hit the bell icon to get informed every time we are going live on our YouTube channel. You could subscribe or share it with someone. And of course, since we are live right now, we will appreciate every comment. Don't hesitate to ask questions that may appear to you during the conversation with our special guest. Ammin Youssouf is coming up. And the best question will be rewarded with 1,000 tokens. So go for it, guys. You may already know what follows after welcome remarks. Yes, that's right, a short introduction of 3Air and our project. So 3Air is a blockchain-based startup who will leverage the power of decentralization to provide internet connectivity to consumers in Africa and provide the physical infrastructure to support this through its partnership with K3 Telecom. Only 20% of people on the African continent are active internet users, with less than 1% having access to broadband. So compare this with the 60% of the world population that are active internet users, and it quickly becomes evident that African nations have quite a distance to go in order to fully benefit from the World Wide Web. So the lack of internet in this region has also a social and economic impact, including the way citizens interact with their government, with businesses, and with each other. So 3Years' vision is to make broadband connectivity available to the masses that is easy to access through its blockchain-based platform. So 3Year is not only about connecting the unconnected, but it's also about banking the unbanked and giving people of developing countries equal opportunities. You can read more about the project in the white paper, and the one giving you more information live every Wednesday is Sandi Bitenc, the CEO of 3Year. And I will, of course, welcome and say hello to him again. Hello, Sandi.
Hello, Anita. Hello, 3R fam.
Welcome to AMA, Sandi. It
Yeah,
is
we are here
another week.
every Wednesday, right?
Yes,
I
we
got
are.
I got a question yesterday. Is the AMA on? Of course it is. It's always there.
Oh my God, was there a question?
It was, yeah. I was like, why?
Yeah, well, Sandy, you are active. We are following you, of course. The whole community is following you, and you are on a different AMAs, not only here. So maybe, there was a confusion about that. And we will get back to that. But first of all, Sandy, we are in the last week of pre-sale. Is that so?
It is. So I don't know how we said it, but it's gonna close exactly at the AMA next week. I think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be right. I think so.
We're very
Yeah,
excited
we have
about that.
one more week to go.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? I mean, it's been a period, a very important time, and now there is a closure of something. It's not closing like the whole project, but it's a closure, a very important one.
Yeah, it's a bit mixed feelings. So to be honest, and I never lie. So I'm not really too satisfied with it. Let's say it like
Okay.
this. So we still have a lot of work to do in regards to getting some more funds in, and we are working in the background a lot. And we won't make it with the public pre-sale. That's clear right now. So we need to focus on the private sales and getting some more private investors in. So this is now my main goal to I'm trying to get as many private investors in as possible. So we got some equity investors and also getting some potential partnerships, but everything takes so long. here. When you it's kind of easy and fast when you're in the public. Everything is known, but once you start talking about a bit bigger amounts with some investors, then everything takes time. And Yeah, no, I had a call last week also with Giga, the UNICEF project, and that's also going to take a lot of time. It's like they're really they have so much compliance that we need to go through, and they like what we're doing. And actually, we found out they are doing their mapping of schools and so on in Sierra Leone already, and we actually have coverage of more than 1,000 schools that Giga has mapped out that they want to connect. So I'm pretty sure that there's going to happen something. Is just this is not going to happen in the next 2 months probably. As it seems, it's those things really take time.
Yes, I know. But what we have, we are patient, right? And you are very sincere about the whole project, which is very important, talking also how you feel about it and how satisfied you are. And that's really good. That's transparent. That's nice. Before we call on our guest, Sandi, just maybe a word or two about a t-shirt contest. How is it going?
Well, we closed the submissions were
Yeah.
closed on Monday, and we got something over 70 submissions, and that was amazing. That I didn't expect. So I wasn't thinking that from the community it'll come so many submissions. A few of them were then doubled that we checked. So I think right now we are voting on about around 50 designs, and I can share the screen just for
Yes, do
a
because
bit.
they're really good. They're very interesting.
Mhm.
And I think it will be, a fight for the best one.
Yeah, let me see if I shared the right one. I did. Okay, so you can, if you want to vote, no, if you want to, you need to vote. So you need to go to our docs.3air.io. So it's in the documents, and then you go under giveaways and under t-shirt contest, and there is gallery and voting. We made it really easy. You go here, and then just wait that everything loads. Oh, come on. It takes some time. Okay. And so here are all the designs.
Hmm.
And once you like something, you just click on it. And then you have here the vote. Oh, this one has already 53 votes. So
Oh my God.
you've been busy. That's nice. Um, and it's I think that voting doesn't work in Brave browser, and I also think it didn't work in Firefox. I'm not pretty sure. I know that in Brave browser it doesn't work. So please don't use Brave browser. Just use something else. Else it really works. So yeah, we have quite a
Whoa.
lot of those. And there was also a question. So the first five, that get the most votes will get. I think we set thousand tokens. Not really. It's here T-shirt contest, so I don't say anything wrong. Yeah, the top five will get 1,000 tokens each plus a T-shirt, and
Hmm.
each design that we'll select to print will get 10,000 tokens. And yeah, there was also a question. So just to clarify this, it's going to be the decision of the design team. Laura will have the upper hand on this,
Of
what we are
course.
actually going to print. So it's not going to be this time, it's not going to be a community decision. No, in the future there will be also community decisions about this, but right now when we're still developing, and we need to keep an eye on our branding and so on. We really want to that everything that goes out and is printed on a t-shirt is really in line with all the guidelines that we have for 3R. So yeah, it's gonna be in the end, it's going to be our decision what gets printed. And we also have some professional designers working on, and also Laura will give some of her concepts, and then we'll print a few of the designs. And I'm actually I actually spoke to another Cardano project called Via Collective, and I think that we'll print the t-shirts through them. It may be a bit more expensive, but I think we are all in the same space trying, and we need to give support to each other. So I think we'll print with them. Yeah,
That's nice.
and also, so that last week you actually took one meeting off of my hands. So you had the meeting with another Cardano project, right? With
Boa?
yeah, with Empoa, and I had a meeting with them this week. So we also spoke, and they're really nice guys.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
I think there is also some synergy. So they're building houses. We can provide the internet to those houses. So
Yeah.
it's really good.
Really nice, important projects that are coming up in Africa. And if we could connect in a way, this is just great. And I'm really looking forward to that too. So thank you, Sandi. Looking forward to the merchandise of 3Air, because, I would really like to put this T-shirt on and have a sign of 3Air or whatever will be chosen. But I know it will be, of course, connected to 3Air.
Of course, it's coming soon.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Sandi, I'm really looking forward to introducing and welcoming our guest. Ammin Youssouf is with us. Hello and welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, we are great. How are you, Ammin?
I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm right now. I'm in Paris. It's a little bit cold, but not too cold. And but we have a lot of issues with COVID, as you all know, in Paris. But that's okay. We
Yeah.
are getting to an end, I hope, with this.
Yes.
Really.
I'm from Slovenia. I'm in Slovenia right now. It's very cold too. So we have, I don't know, minus something. And then we come to 2 or maybe 3 plus, and that's it. But it's winter. So it's nice to have winter too, right?
Exactly. So thank you
I don't agree.
for welcoming me here, and hi to all the audience.
Thank you, Ammin. Now, before I have a first question, I have a lot of questions for you today. And I would like to also invite everybody that is with us today live to ask questions, because the best one we will choose at the end, which was the best question, will also be rewarded with 1,000 tokens. So you're invited, guys, to ask questions and really, really try hard, because I have a lot of questions. And maybe some of you has a question that is better than mine, but I'm not sure. So first of all, Ammin, I would like to do a short introduction of you, if you allow me. So Ammin Youssouf is an impact technologist and founder of Afrobytes, an annual international tech conference connecting business and technology leaders, founders, investors, policy experts, and the media with the African tech ecosystem. In a short time, Afrobytes has become the largest and most influential African tech event in Europe. Well, this is just amazing. And prior to founding Afrobytes, Ammin founded the award-winning digital agency Big Youth. He spent 20 years building digital platforms and operating digital markets campaigns, and so on and so on. So, Ammin, this is just an impressive story, really.
Thank you.
You are doing an important work. You're connecting, African entrepreneurs, startups with Europe, with the world. And this conference is a really, really important one. So could you, for starters, tell us, how did you come up with this idea?
Oh, very simple. You have more than 1 billion people in Africa right now, and it's going to be the most populated continent in the next 50 years. I think it's 2050. One man or women out of 4 on Earth will live physically in Africa. So, I mean, like in any business that you are doing, you have to address this market. because this is huge. And we can see now a lot of, when I started like 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah.
when you had a fundraising of $1 million for a company, it was like, wow, you raised $1 million in Africa, that's great.
Yeah.
Now you have valuation of $1 billion. You have unicorns, and people are raising 200 million like this in fintech. So there's something happening there, definitely.
Yes. Yes, I'm a little bit involved in startups in Europe. I'm also a co-host of a conference Podium, which is a very important one here in our part of Europe, also for startups. And we also have an interest in Europe, to have as much unicorns as possible. That is also to get good investors to invest in them. But we're talking about amounts that are higher than, or than 1 million, maybe 2 millions and more. And this is very hard to get in these days. So what is an interest of investors to invest, in entrepreneurs or companies in Africa?
Okay. First, when you start this business or startup or a company, you have to solve problems.
Yeah.
Okay. It happens that we have a lot of issues in Africa. So we have a lot of opportunities to invent, to also leapfrogging. I could talk about tons of sectors. Okay, the most well-known is definitely right now it's fintech. If you look at the numbers, for example, Stripe recently, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, when they invested in a company, they invested in a company in Nigeria, in Paystack, 200 million. They didn't go in France or whatever. They were like, oh, no, 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 we go there
Yeah.
because Nigeria is really booming in terms of fintech services. It's huge. The most well-known thing is definitely fintech and all the mobile money stuff. But there are tons of other sectors. If you look at agriculture, for example, there's a huge potential growth here. If you look at a value sector like education, just to talk, so I think that education is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
You have so many kids coming on the market to educate right now that even if you have the concrete, the tools, whatever you want, you can't build schools at the pace of kids coming in the market. Forget about it. It's impossible. Even if you have the people to do that, you would have to do like more than 24 hours a day to do that. It won't work because the school, it's also a road to go to the school. It's a lot of things. So now education in Africa has to find other ways using, for example, the internet, and for sure, this is where solutions like free air come into the business because connectivity is so important.
Yeah.
Connectivity is at the base of all African development. And if you look, for example, in some countries, the part of the contribution to the GDP in some countries with internet is just huge. I think that now, for example, Ivory Coast, it's something like 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's very important.
Yes. Yes. So I had this question with Marcus, also, who is a part of our team, and we were also talking about the startups. Amin, where does someone who has a great idea and wants to become a startup entrepreneur in Africa, where does he go or she?
Oh, a good question. She could go in many places. First, people have to remember that Africa is 54 countries.
Yeah.
Imagine that in Europe we are just 27, so it's
Yeah.
a double. We still have to remember this. So when someone tell you, "Oh, Africa is different," I say, no, 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 no. If you look at the map, if you look at the conflicts map, actually there are less conflicts than 20 years ago. Most of the countries in Africa, everything is okay. It's just that you don't hear about them, but everything is okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So I would say that it depends on what is the domain and what is the problem you address. For example, I will because there are tons and it's 54 countries, so it's very difficult to spot one country. But for example, for the ease of business, I would say Rwanda. Rwanda is like super safe. It's like the
Yeah.
Switzerland of Africa. I mean, like really,
Uh-huh.
it's super safe. There's almost no corruption there. Even if you go there and you travel there, you will see no paper on the ground. It's super clean. They have
Okay.
decided to be a super clean nation. So
Nice.
Rwanda is safe for a business. After, if you want to have a huge potential of business, but huge risk at the same time, you will probably go in Nigeria. Big
Okay.
potential, but big risk. If you want to be like, okay, I'm cool. I want to just grow my business, but I accept the risk, but not that much. You have plenty of countries. Let's say, for example, Kenya. Kenya would be okay. There are some issues there too, but it's okay. You would go to Ethiopia. There are some things to understand there too. Egypt has a fantastic growth at the moment, and as you can hear, I'm francophone. I'm a French-speaking person, so there is all the French-speaking countries in Africa. Senegal is cool. Ivory Coast, a lot of things to do there too. So look at Francophone Africa. It's not bad.
Okay. Now, if you are in Africa, also starting a good idea, then there are some hubs, right, when you can turn to and to share the idea or to develop it.
You have tons of tech hubs across Africa. I think like it's hundreds and hundreds of tech hubs. You can take a look at AfriLabs, for example, afrilabs.com. I know that your partner in Ethiopia is part of this. Okay, so you will see a lot of tech hubs all across Africa. Some small, some big. Some have a lot of traction themselves. That what is really interesting in Africa is that there is this Ubuntu culture, which is working together, supporting each other. So getting access to people is quite easy, I would say. It's quite easy to connect with people, and people are in that space are quite okay to give you to introduce you to people, etc. So you can go really fast in terms of connecting with people. After, yes, you have to build your business, you have to build the work. It's like anywhere in the world. Africa uh, is not that complicated. You can see a lot of countries in the world that are more complicated than any countries in Africa.
So great opportunities awaiting in Africa. I mean, you are most of the time in Europe, or are you a lot in Africa also?
Oh, those last 2 years, traveling was complicated.
Yeah.
Uh, Last time I was in Morocco, they closed the border. I had to run to the airport, and I arrived in Lisbon to get back to Paris. So it was complicated. So the last 2 years was complicated, but I work like every day with people in Africa, and connectivity will change a lot of things. Okay, I want to take a moment here. Here is my personal theory. Okay, now what we can see, for example, in Europe, we can see more and more remote native companies.
Okay.
Okay, so when you are doing a remote native company, you don't care if the person is in Paris or in Marseille or in Tunis or in South Africa, as long as this person is in the same time zone as you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if this person has connectivity, like being able to work with you on your platform, whatever, this is someone you can hire. And people have to think that the major change that I will see in the coming years, it's millions and millions of talented people coming in the job market.
Okay.
And connectivity will probably create that traction. For example, me, I work now with Africa, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to find a trainee for an internship, I can have my training in Nigeria or Ghana. It won't change anything. And so there's an opportunity here, and it will probably drive a lot of changes for all of us,
Yes.
and a lot of
So
opportunity.
yes, I do absolutely agree because the whole situation has changed a little bit about how we communicate in the last years, right? It is due to Corona, COVID, or maybe even because this is now somehow more comfortable. I think also, and faster. So I was just asking you about this, how much you are an African, because you have a lot of information and you are a connection actually between investors in Europe and
Yeah.
African companies.
Mm.
So I know that you know the field very well.
Yeah.
Maybe just a question. I mean, where did you get your education?
Oh, actually, I born in France, in
Okay.
Brittany. Actually, I born in France, but I'm originated from the Comoros Island. Okay, I know that most of the people they don't know where it is, so Google it. Comoros Islands. That's one of the tiniest country in Africa. It's islands close to Madagascar. So I go often there. I work a lot with them at this moment. You didn't mention that in the intro about me, but I recently launched TheColo.rs.
Yeah.
TheColo.rs is focusing on perfumery and cosmetics
Hmm.
with natural products from Africa. And so I work on a lot now with the Comoros Islands, with Morocco. And actually, the reason why it's easy to do that from Paris is that we try to cover English-speaking and French-speaking countries.
Okay.
And actually, Paris is a very easy hub to connect with Africans. That sounds weird, but you have to remember the size of Africa. Sometimes people just forget the size of Africa. The maps that you use, it doesn't reflect the real size of Africa, not at all. And trust me, it's shorter to go from Dakar to Paris than Dakar to Dar es Salaam. It's going to be more expensive. It's going to be super expensive. You probably will have to go through Europe to go there.
Yeah.
So actually, when you are here in Paris, you connect a lot with West Africa, East Africa. You can travel when planes are not very expensive. You can go in Kenya for 600 euros. You go there. You go in Morocco for 50 euros. You go there, you take your plane, you go there, you do your meetings, that's it. And after you have all the online activities as we do right now. So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, about your conference, the last one was in May in 21, right?
Yes, it was a little bit complicated because of COVID, so it was online.
Okay.
But that was cool to do something. We had a partnership with artists at that time. So it was amazing to connect with artists in Africa. So there was this part with the artists and the tech, and we matched those two populations. That was really interesting.
Yeah. So to get back to connectivity, also, to do such events online, and in order to be able to follow them also in Africa, this connectivity is really, really important. So maybe just this question, I mean, how do you see this importance? Also 3Air, you said that it's very important, but what will it bring also to the companies? How important is this so that they can do business well, and of course, everything else in Africa? How do you see this?
Okay, first, what is very interesting is that now when people install the internet in Africa, that's a brand new technology, of course. So, for example, when I have and take a look at Comoros Island where it is, when I speak with people, they are on the optic fiber. Sometimes with some people I'm discussing in Africa with, they have better connections with people I have conversation in France. It's not everywhere, for
Yeah.
sure. It's in the major cities, but that's a huge progress. If you look like 10 years from now, it has nothing to do. We are on another planet, really. And connectivity, we have to remember that connectivity became a right. I mean, it's like access to health or access to food, access to the internet, access to the connectivity is becoming a kind of human rights. In our society, like say, for example, in France, but I think that for you, that's the same. You cannot even live without access to the internet. It's complicated. If you want to do your test for the coronavirus, for example, you have to go online. If you want to find a job, you have to go online. If you want to do any paper, you have to go online. And that's the same happening in Africa, even faster. So I would say that there's a huge potential. Connectivity will accelerate the growth of Africa like never. If I give another example that will probably resonate and people will understand what I'm talking about. If you have a little bit of historical, if you think about the history, let's talk about, for example, India in agriculture. When they had the green revolution in Asia, it was with tractors, with mechanical tools.
Mm-hmm.
When we are talking about green revolution in Africa, we are talking about drones, we are talking about blockchain, we are talking about traceability, we are talking about that kind of things. Just imagine the potential growth of that. That's just, it's mind-blowing. If you really think about it, you're like, wow, that's going to be huge. So after 6 or 5 years ago, it was early stage when I talk about this with people about Africa. People are like, Africa, you're kidding me with, I said, okay, nice, okay. But now look at the numbers. For example, I will give an example about Kenya. Do you know that through mobile money, how I say that? Sorry, I'm not English speaking native, but it's half of the GDP of the country going through the mobile money. That's huge. If you compare with France, we are on another planet. And I'm talking about Kenya, but you go in Ghana, it's even bigger. So
Yes.
something is happening, is accelerating, and yes, and I think that free hair and what Sandi is doing is definitely going the right way. I hope you will have a lot of success, Sandi, and I'm sure you will have a lot of success, and yes, people can invest into that, start to invest, and I think that you might have something good at the end, probably.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm also pretty sure we have a lot to give, and that will be really, really successful. Look, my question was actually not my question was. There was one question, and I don't want to put you totally to the spot, but the question was, what will your future role be in 3 years?
What?
What will your future role be in 3 years? So I'm not putting you on the spot. So Amin is just has been invited to speak a bit on our AMA. He knows the space really well, and I'm pretty sure that we'll make some arrangements afterwards in the back end. And I don't know, maybe there's a possibility of an advisory role or something like that.
Thank you. No, but I think that because I see the question about free hair in Comoros Island. If you know now connectivity is better because there is a cable coming from the region of Saudi Arabia, and it goes all there. But there are still a lot of needs in rural spaces, and there is this appetite in Africa. We have a young population. I mean, we have a very young population, the youngest population on earth. And the big difference you can see with other continents, okay, which is just to say that if you look, for example, in Germany, I hope that people there are no Germans here, but it is not a criticism. I just say that if you have an older population, their life is behind them. Okay,
That's
it's still there. I know I'm saying, I'm not so young, but it's still there. But when you have young people, they are more like their mindset is to invent, to progress, to create, to do all those things. And I remember when I was in commerce settings a few years ago, I remember that sometimes if you go to the post office, you could see in the back of the building at night, you could see a lot of lights. I was like, what is it? I saw maybe 50 or 60 kids with mobile, with my laptop, just sitting there to connect with the Wi-Fi of the building. They were just there, in the grass, like just trying to do whatever they can to connect. Because it opens so much opportunities, and this appetite, this hunger for connectivity in Africa, especially in the young population, it's here, no doubt. You just have to go in Africa, you travel little bit, and you will see that most of people sometimes, there are the development agency. Sometimes they go to villages. What do you need? Do you need me to do, I don't know, to dig a hole and get some water here? They're like, no. I need units to connect with my mobile phone. This is what I need. Just give me this, and it's gonna be okay. So it's really interesting. If you travel there, you will see that concretely.
Yeah, that's true. And about the population, it's actually getting younger. While the whole world is getting older, population in Africa is getting younger. And I think that there is an estimation that by the end of the decade, or even before, the average will be below 25 years. So yeah, really a lot of potential there. And there's also another thing, in regards to adopting new technologies and everything. It's not only that the population is younger, that's for sure one big thing, but it's also that they need it, right? So in Europe, we have all our bank accounts and credit cards and everything, and we just, for us, it's probably not a big game changer now, having crypto wallets and being able to send money or abroad or something like that. But in Africa, there's still a lot of people that are lacking they're not unbanked and they're not banked and so on. So I think this, now the new technologies in regards also to blockchain and crypto, provides such a huge opportunity that it makes a really big difference, and everybody is jumping on it right now. And for sure faster, and I'm pretty sure that Africa will develop in faster than the rest of the world in regards to new technology, just because they need it more than we need it in the developed world.
Yeah, definitely. People in Africa, in their uses of technology, are very attached to the value. Does it bring me value with my life? Whether to feed my kids or to provide health or education. So the connectivity is very attached to that. If you see a farmer, in the remote areas, there is a conversation which is huge about financial inclusion. If you want to do the financial inclusion, you need financial services. And how do you get access to the financial services? Okay, you can do this with SMS. It works. We have been able to do that too, but definitely the easiest way is to do with an internet access.
Yeah.
So there is if you look at Africa 50, it's a huge fund, huge, reasonably huge fund that is based in Morocco. It's a fund that has been launched by by African countries, by African Union. That's why it's Africa 50, because there was 50 countries, okay, participating in this fund. And their focus is on infrastructure. And when we worked with them and we had a sourcing of startups in Africa, their focus was on connectivity startups. That was the main focus, because they know that's at the base of everything else.
Yeah, it's kind of the under, what you actually need to scale everything else, because right now everything is global. It doesn't make sense so much to be able to do business with your neighbor, because we are way ahead of that. So you need to be able to do business globally, and for that you need connectivity. It's no way that you can do it any other way right now. It's everything else will be impossible, or if it's possible, it's just going to be way too slow.
And it's
And I was also
job, it's jobs creation. I will give you just a quick example I had, because I love that story, because I was in a panel, like I think it was in May, when we did our event in May. There was this journalist from the US, and she said something very interesting, because it was a pandemic, and she said something like, okay, I know a couple of people in the US, African Americans, and they were looking for a teacher for their kids. They're like, okay, we need a teacher for our kids. That's pretty expensive in the US. Education is expensive in the US. So they're like, okay, where can we find a teacher? They ended up to find a teacher in Kenya, a very good teacher, a university teacher. I mean, like something you cannot afford here, so it was a very good teacher. And at the same time, they were like super happy, because they were like, oh, cool. And at the same time, as African Americans, we connect with the continent.
Yeah. And I think that I don't know if I'm in full of the line, but for instance, Petra is right now learning some new languages, and she's using a platform that connects globally, tutors, and she's using it actually right now. And I think that she has some tutor from Morocco, I think. Not pretty sure, but I think so. So yeah, it's really easy
Yes,
to
for my
create jobs globally. Yeah, we jumped in for you. No worries.
You're back.
That's right. So if it happens again, I will switch to my mobile phone with I don't. You see, we don't have this in Africa.
You need free air in Paris.
I am kidding.
I think it happened again, right?
Yeah, I think he will go on his phone. So yeah. A very interesting point of view also from Ammin, because he's really really has a lot of information about everything that is going on in Africa, and talking about connectivity in this way, and he's doing online conference, connecting Africa to Europe. So it's really important that it works. Okay, let's see if he's not. Just a minute.
No,
Ammin?
I think he'll rejoin. No worries. I still have some questions for him. So
yeah.
Let's see.
Sandi, did you check a little about did you check little questions? Because we will have to give 1,000 tokens at the end.
Not really. I see a lot of questions coming in, but I was really trying to listen what Ammin.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I cannot do two things. You should be able to do many more things. I'm a man. I have an excuse that I cannot do it.
Yeah. You have an excuse. I am doing that. I'm talking. I'm listening. I'm also checking questions. But just in order to really understand the question, I have to really read it. It's not so easy.
I've done two things now. I left Ammin in. See,
yeah, bravo.
I'm sorry, I had connectivity issues, but I'm in Paris. So there is still work to do here.
Yeah. we also get some issues. Oh, Anita had some issues in the beginning. Your connection looks quite stable right now.
My connection is great now because I'm on cable.
Yeah, here in my building, usually we get quite okay internet, but it's sometimes also if everybody jumps on it because it's a high building, a lot of people on, it can be also quite slow. So we know this in the developing countries. It's not only there. But yeah, you said before, there are some fiber cables and so on, and Africa is actually pretty well connected with globally with all the other continents with the undersea cables, and they actually also penetrate quite well into the continent. But usually they stop before the big cities. So then the last mile distribution is the one that it's problematic. So we've been in Ethiopia. They have some cable there, but it's really, really not a lot. And Nigeria, I looked up the statistics for Nigeria, and broadband there is actually 0.04%. So the mobile connections are getting a bit better, but even those are not totally stable.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you said, the story is really the story that you told with kids going out at night and trying to connect to a Wi-Fi from a building and so on. I think this should not happen. And you're right. Internet should be or is a basic human right. I'm also thinking about how many talent is actually wasted in Africa just because there is no connectivity there that could bring them the education that's needed so that they can build out their talent. And I'm pretty sure we missed a few, let's say, Nobel Prize winners probably from Africa just because they didn't have the connectivity there. And that's actually not a loss for Africa; it's a loss for the whole world.
Yes, I totally agree with you. That's true that if you look at the connectivity map, uh, first, it's not everywhere that it's great. It's growing fast, but we are starting so low that there's a huge potential. So the costs are quite well connected because all the cables are around. Okay, but if you go into the land, it's becoming difficult. So you have a lot of areas again where it's there's still so much to do to achieve in terms of the connectivity, and the last mile is definitely an issue. So yes, there's and of course the price of the connectivity. That's the main right now. That's the main issue. It's not just that it's not available, but when it's available, you have to remember the medium wages of people. Okay, um, and you have to think when you launch. Sorry, I just say that maybe there are some entrepreneurs here listening to us. You have to really think about what is your pricing when you arrive in Africa when you launch a service. Let's say, uh, for example, here in France or in Western countries, we have a salary at the end of the month or the end of the week. Okay, clear. In many places in Africa, you have your salary the day, and the other day is another salary. So the money that you have, it's the money that you make that day. And that day, this is when you will connect, when you will buy milk to your kids, when you do whatever you have to do for that day. And the next day after, you do that again. So access to internet uh, can take a huge part of the revenue of people, especially when you want to, like any parents, you want to give access to your kids to the internet because of school, because of education. That is becoming a big budget for people. So if there's a way to reduce this amount, this cost for people, it will just accelerate access, development, and a lot of things.
Yeah, I actually also read that it can take up to 30 or 35% of the monthly income for a household to actually get internet. So that's not really, sustainable. And it really bothers me also that the price of internet is 3 times higher in Africa than in Europe. So and there's a lot of market manipulation going on. There are mostly really the big players in that are providing some internet. Have the monopoly there, and they're keeping high prices. And yeah, it's even for us was really hard to go lower, or it's almost impossible to go lower in prices, just because the competition is so strong that then we get our own problems. So this is for sure what we need definitely more companies coming to Africa and providing connectivity, because then prices can drop. But even buying the internet from the backbone is more than double than it is in Europe, at least more than double. So that's also why exactly why it's just everybody is trying to take advantage of the current situation in Africa. It seems like this. It's just not enough competition there.
But if you see as a growth trajectory of some countries, the countries that have the lowest prices with the internet, so the better access to people, they grow faster. If you look at Rwanda is growing. They have like their growth every year, like boom, boom, boom. It's growing fast because they have decided to make internet connectivity a priority. If you don't do that, you just lower your development as a country. I think it will change with the new generations of policymakers. We still have in some countries quite old people not familiar with the internet and the benefit because they don't even practice themselves. But now with younger generation coming in power, we can see that we have new politicians coming with diverse backgrounds. Sometimes they have done their schools in the US or in Europe or even in Africa. A lot of times, they are now like convinced of this importance of giving access to the maximum of people to the internet for the growth of their country.
Yeah, you're totally right. The lower the cost of internet, the higher the growth and the faster growth. That's really good observation. Anita, I think we need to slowly close
Yeah.
our AMA. I think you were the guest that we had on the longest. It was
Sorry,
really
I
great.
talk too much.
No,
No,
no, no.
no, it was perfect. Really good. Really nice. We loved
It
it.
was really inspiring. It was really great, to have the in-look in the situation. Just another question, maybe. I mean, just
Sorry.
another question. When is the next Afrobytes coming up this year? Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of this next week, we will have TheColo.rs, which will be for cosmetic and perfumery first. And the next Afrobyte, I think, is going to be mid-June.
Okay.
We haven't decided. I think it's going to be mid-June on June 14. We will have, in terms of program, the first part of it will be about policy making, digital rights, that kind of things, the privacy, the data, blah blah blah. And in the afternoon, I think it's going to be mostly fintech and crypto.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting subject, right, Sandy?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be mainly this, and Because I think that the approach that we have with Afrobytes is to connect. We try, because when I look at the crypto space, when you are not familiar with that space, you're like, what those guys are talking about? I don't get it. They have tokens with numbers, and I'm like, oh, what is this? I've got to go on platform. So we try to illustrate the uses, like in concrete business cases, so people can understand and see the value, not just because they are geeks and they have their languages that is opaque for a lot of people, but we try to make it more understandable for people, and especially for the policymakers, because sometimes the policymakers, they are like, okay, yes, it's crypto, blah blah blah, and you have someone coming and talking in a way people can't understand if you are not in the business. So we try to see, for example, in the perfumery and cosmetic industry, uh, we are exploring the blockchain with how can I say that, with the traceability, because
Yeah.
traceability for cosmetics is very important. But we try to say, okay, we don't really care about what is the blockchain. Okay, that's the developer stuff. Okay, but what does it mean concretely for people? Most of the people, they don't need to know the line of code and what is behind. They need to know, how can I use this? This is what is important. How can I use this? And after the discussion on platform, it's for the developers. That's another very interesting one, but that's another conversation.
I think the breakthrough will actually be when people don't even know that they're using blockchain. They'll just love it, and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't need to. I often give this example of Steve Jobs, when he had his well, he just said to people on stage, "It works." That's it.
Mm.
You don't need to know how many components I have and the power and blah 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 and the chips. No, you don't need to know that. You need to know that it works, and it will improve your life. That's it. Just
Yeah.
test it, and that's it. And I think that we could gain more traction in the crypto space and blockchain space if we could use that kind of language, that
Yeah,
it
for sure.
works.
Yeah, but we need a bit more time for the development. It's the same as it was with internet in the first place, and we need more time to develop just better apps and everything, and then everything will be integrated in the back end, and you just won't know any. You won't even know you're using blockchain.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Thank you, Amin. This is a great closure. It works, right? It works. And we are working on it. So thank you very much for being with us. I love
Thank
your
you.
colors, by the way. I was checking it out and it's great. So go for it.
Thank you.
And let us know when the conference is on. Of course, we will stay in
Yeah,
contact.
for sure. And thank you for all the audience. And uh, you have my name. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I will accept, and we can continue the conversations.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Amin.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
Amin. Sandy, we have to end up this great AMA. There are so many questions also for you today. I don't know if you were checking them out. A lot of questions coming in because I think there are some newcomers in our community and have some questions. Of course, you're answering also to those questions in a community. But since AMA is the opportunity, to to get some answers, there will be the next time, of course, a chance to answer those questions.
Yeah. Let's see, we can maybe go a bit over an hour today and answer a few of those.
Okay.
Maybe if there are some that haven't been answered before. I answered a lot of questions yesterday on Twitter Spaces. I was there at RealFi, Subcritical TV. So if you can go and listen to that one.
Mhm.
You can also listen. So the previous AMA was just about questions and answers. So there's a lot of questions have been answered there. So maybe watch the previous episodes. But we at least need to pick one question, right?
Yeah, I did find
Then
one
we'll.
question.
Yeah, you did find it.
Hunter Johnny had a lot of questions today, and one of those questions was, look, I'm very concerned about security, so I want to know about a security team that can confidently handle hackers.
Um, yeah, so in our team we have two guys that are certified white hackers. So they know they've been working on security for years. I don't know exactly how many years, but we can bring them on the AMA ones. And we are working also together with IT team global, and they're all into security. So it's for us, it's really really important. And in regards to the smart contracts that we'll deploy, will audit all the smart contracts. So with a reputable audit company. And yeah, this is on on our minds for sure. And we'll take a lot time and efforts to provide as secure apps as possible.
There is just another one, a little technical. Is it possible to connect more than one house with just a 3-year router in order for them to divide the cost to 3 or 4 in order to be more affordable?
Yeah, we do have a few of those options. So we usually just mount one transceiver on a multi-tenant building, so they can share the connection there in that regard. But usually they also connect to different routers. But we have our sharing economy worked out also. So there will be possibilities to do that.
Okay, Sandy, will you answer some more? Is that
If you found some really cool questions, then we can do it. But what I want to do is, our team just flew in to the main team flew into Sierra Leone today,
yeah?
and just before the show, they sent me just a. Yeah, they didn't want to talk anything, but they 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 just filmed it a bit. So this is right now almost live. So 1 hour ago in Freetown, Sierra Leone, and
Really?
I think we'll get a lot of video material now during the next days from there. And you'll able to see how our offices look like, and a bit of the equipment, and a bit of the team there locally, and so on.
Okay, can I ask you just another question? Is how was yesterday's AMA on Real Feed Twitter Space?
Yeah, that was it. I told you. It was really nice. I was actually surprised. And I think we need to do our own Twitter space. Huh? What do you think? Should we do
This is
it?
what I wanted to ask you because you said you have no. This was a new experience for you. That was that what I wanted to know if it was so good.
Yeah, I really liked it. You know what's really good is that you can actually talk to the audience. Here you have the comments, and then you read the comments, but there you are the speaker, and other viewers or listeners can actually also come in and ask questions. But there is no video, so everything is audio. And I think we could do it on Discord. I think Discord has such an option, and we can also do it on Twitter. So I would actually like to do it on Twitter now in the next days. So are you up for it?
You're asking me, or are you asking them?
I'm asking everybody. You also. I cannot do it without you.
Yes, you can, but it won't be so good. I'm joking.
Exactly. No, no, no. You're totally right there.
No, no, no. This,
I would be lost without you here.
Oh, thank you very much. Santi, now we said we will reward the best question, but was that a question for Amin or in altogether?
No. You actually, I think you scrolled through it. So did you find any? I didn't scroll through it. So
Uh,
I
yes, if we want to reward the question that was for Amin, then I did make a decision who maybe should get the reward.
no, it doesn't need to be a question to Amin. So
Okay.
it can be any, and maybe just the question that you chose the first. Just yeah, let's give it to the one that asked the question that you chose first.
But no, you
Maybe
know
we
what?
have better questions.
Okay, no, okay, now you put me in a weird position. Now there are a lot of good questions here also, but I did pick the one that was for Amin, but I didn't say who it gets to, so we can still change it if you want
But
to.
Amin then needs to answer it also.
Uh, Amin, just a minute. I think he did answer it.
He did answer. Okay, if he answered it, then good.
Just a minute. Just let me check. Now I have to find it again, but there are more questions from. Should I say who he is? Itinerator Bosniakus. He
Okay,
was
but he got it last week, I think.
okay then you see then he's not. But a lot of questions came in today from what we just had the last one. Just a minute. We were just answering the questions from him, and there were a lot of good questions from him. Just a minute. I'm sorry. Yes, Hunter Johnny. He was the
Yeah.
one asking about the security and more questions. So maybe he should be the one getting the 1,000 tokens. What do you think?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
So
So
Hunter Johnny, you should give us one way to contact you. You should write it in the chat, either a Discord or a Twitter handle, something that's not too personal that you can share, but you should put it in the chat right now so that we can contact you.
and congratulations for 1,000 tokens.
Yay! Congratulations.
Okay.
Yeah.
And wait just a minute. Oh yeah, I know Richard is saying congratulations. I thought we got the address, the handle. So we will just wait a couple of more seconds to get this information. So I think, Sandy, it was a very interesting subject to date, a very, very interesting conversation with Amin.
Mhm.
And he really, he actually, what he does, I've also read that he's consulting, advising clients about the African tech scene. And there are really some big names among those clients, like Facebook, and I didn't remember them all, but really great clients. So he has the information, a lot of information that could be useful also, for 3 years. So it's nice that we
I
have.
don't know. I'll speak to him a bit more right now. And yeah, he's actually very good friends with Helena and Marcos that we also had already, on in their on our call. So there's a lot of connections to him, and we are speaking quite a lot. So we'll try and make it official also. But if not, it's also going on unofficially. So. mm, another thing, I already have the guest for next week.
You
Why not?
do. So will you tell us more about it, or is
Yeah, why not? I got him confirmed. So he's one of our advisors. It's the one that's I can say pretty much probably the most active one for us right now, and that's Oliver von Wolf. He is the managing director of CV Labs Dubai, and in the space for a long, long time, and also really, really active in Africa. Lots of connections. So it's gonna be also an interesting AMA next week.
well, looking forward to that. So Sandy, we are almost 10 minutes past hour. Maybe we should do
Okay.
the closure.
Yeah, I think
We
it's a
didn't this we still don't have the information about the rewarding. um, we need a
well.
hand, right?
We'll look it up afterwards. So now I saw that this the chat is getting stored on our YouTube channel, and there's also the possibility then for him to write us his handle afterwards.
Look, we need an AMA with Charles Hoskinson.
Yeah, let's see if that happens. I'll give
Okay.
the second part of his gift today.
Yeah.
You remember we got him the current mask.
Yeah.
He gets the whole costume with the bells and the spikes and all.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think,
great.
yeah, we should be with him early next week, latest.
You know, we in Slovenia know how important and what a big honor it is to have this mask, the whole costume. This is really important because not everybody can get it and not everybody can be current. And that is amazing. So yeah. So maybe it will be an AMA once with him also in the mask. Okay, Sandi, thank you for being with us today and answering all the questions. Have a great evening. And thanks to all of you for being with us. Of course, stay tuned, stay involved in our in communities on Telegram, Twitter, and Discord. And looking forward to the next MA Wednesday, 5 p.m. Central European time with our interesting guest. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we forgot to do the three. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.